Are you reaching for that sugar-free treat thinking you're making a healthy choice? Think again. New research is suggesting that a common alternative sweetener, sorbitol, may actually be contributing to liver disease. It turns out that our bodies can convert sorbitol into fructose right in the liver, potentially leading to the same harmful effects we've seen with high fructose diets. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this just another scare tactic, or is there real cause for concern? Let's dive in. For years, sweeteners like aspartame, found in equal, sucralose, Splenda, and sugar alcohols have been touted as better options than refined sugar, glucose. The idea was that these alternatives wouldn't spike your blood sugar or contribute to weight gain in the same way. However, scientists are now taking a closer look, and the picture isn't as sweet as we thought. A recent study, published in Science Signaling, is specifically challenging the assumption that sorbitol is a harmless sugar substitute. This research builds upon previous work from Gary Patti's lab at Washington University in St. Louis, which has been detailing the detrimental effects of fructose on the liver and other bodily systems. Patti's team has even shown how fructose process in the liver can be exploited by cancer cells, giving them a boost. They've also established that fructose is a major player in the development of steatotic liver disease, a condition affecting a staggering 30% of adults worldwide. That's nearly 1 in 3 people. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about added fructose, it's about how our bodies handle any excess. The most surprising finding from this latest study? According to Patti, sorbitol is 1 transformation away from fructose, meaning it can trigger similar negative consequences in the liver. Think of it like this: sorbitol is like a stepping stone on the path to fructose. The body doesn't recognize the difference in time before it's too late. Researchers conducted experiments using zebrafish, a model organism often used in scientific studies. These experiments demonstrated that sorbitol, commonly found in low-calorie candies, gum, and naturally in stone fruits like peaches and plums, can be produced by enzymes in the gut and ultimately converted into fructose in the liver. While small amounts of sorbitol from fruit are likely not a major issue, the problem arises when we consume large quantities from processed foods. Patti's team discovered that there are multiple pathways to fructose production in the liver, with various detours depending on an individual's sorbitol and glucose intake, as well as the composition of their gut microbiome. This is crucial because it highlights the complex interplay between diet, gut bacteria, and liver health. For example, while most research on sorbitol metabolism has focused on its production due to glucose overload in conditions like diabetes, the study revealed that sorbitol can also be naturally produced in the gut from glucose after eating, even in healthy individuals. The enzyme responsible for sorbitol production has a low affinity for glucose, meaning glucose levels need to be relatively high for it to kick in. This explains why sorbitol production has primarily been linked to diabetes. However, the zebrafish experiments showed that even in healthy individuals, glucose levels in the gut can spike high enough after a meal to drive sorbitol production within the intestine. It can be produced in the body at significant levels, Patti explains. But if you have the right bacteria, turns out, it doesn't matter. Certain strains of Aeromonas bacteria have the ability to degrade sorbitol, converting it into harmless byproducts. These bacteria act as a natural defense mechanism, preventing sorbitol from reaching the liver. However, if you don't have the right bacteria, that's when it becomes problematic. Because in those conditions, sorbitol doesn't get degraded and as a result, it is passed on to the liver, he says. This underscores the importance of a healthy gut microbiome in mitigating the potential harm from sorbitol consumption. What can you do to improve your gut health? Consider eating a diet rich in fiber, probiotics, and fermented foods. Once sorbitol reaches the liver, it's converted into a derivative of fructose, setting the stage for potential liver dysfunction. Given the widespread use of alternative sweeteners in products marketed to people with diabetes and other metabolic disorders, it's crucial to determine whether these sweeteners truly offer a healthy alternative to table sugar. Are we inadvertently harming the very people we are trying to help? While gut bacteria can effectively clear sorbitol when present in small amounts, such as those found in fruit, problems arise when sorbitol levels become too high for these bacteria to handle. This can occur due to excessive glucose consumption, leading to high levels of glucose-derived sorbitol, or through direct consumption of large amounts of dietary sorbitol. Think of it like a traffic jam. The bacteria can only process so much at a time. Therefore, even if someone possesses the beneficial bacteria that degrade sorbitol, consuming excessive amounts of glucose and sorbitol can overwhelm these microbes, rendering them unable to effectively clear the excess. It's a matter of balance. Avoiding both sugar and alternative sweeteners is becoming increasingly challenging, as many processed foods are loaded with various types of both. Patti himself was surprised to discover that his favorite protein bar was packed with sorbitol, highlighting how ubiquitous this sweetener has become in our food supply. Further research is needed to fully understand the specific mechanisms by which bacteria clear sorbitol. However, the basic assumption that sugar alcohols like sorbitol are harmlessly expelled from the body may not be entirely accurate. We do absolutely see that sorbitol given to animals ends up in tissues all over the body, Patti states, suggesting that sorbitol may have broader systemic effects than previously thought. Ultimately, the findings suggest that there is no free lunch when it comes to sugar alternatives, with multiple pathways potentially leading to liver dysfunction. This research serves as a reminder to be mindful of our overall dietary patterns and to not blindly trust sugar-free labels. What sugar-free lacks, it may make up for with a different type of potential harm. This research was supported by the National Institutes of Health. It definitely raises some interesting points. Do you think alternative sweeteners are truly a healthy alternative to sugar, or are we just trading one problem for another? Have you noticed any changes in your health after consuming products containing sorbitol or other sugar alcohols? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below.